Oh wait, hang on. Wait, no, we've got the wrong setting on. We didn't turn off the festive switch. Mayam. Hi everyone. Welcome. Welcome to Big Damn Cast. A few milestones here that I don't think either of us were expecting. One, this is the first Christmas episode we're recording the week of.
Yes.
Normally we record these way in advance, these bad boys.
3 days before.
Yeah, we normally get around to this shite on sort of late November time. It's also the first Christmas special that we're recording over Skype, which normally all the episodes in the run-up to Christmas would be recorded over Skype because of work. So it's kind of like, it's the first one we're doing in real time, but we're doing it like we would were things normal still.
Yes.
And yet it's also, weirdly, the 52nd episode this year, meaning this will be the first Big Damn Cast year ever to have 53 episodes instead of 52 because of where the week has fallen over the course of everything, which is strange and plays havoc with my inbuilt OCD over the folders and playlists, because it means next week's episode won't be the best of 2020, the worst of 2020, best of whatever. It won't be the roundup episode because that has to wait another week. So
that's true.
That is weird to me. That strikes me as odd.
New Year's filler episode.
I mean, let's face it. Best of 2020, rest of 2021 is going to be 10 minutes long this time around.
Nothing good happened. Everything else is happening this year.
What occurred this year? Fuck all. What's happening next year? No point putting dates on
idea.
it. I'm Chris. Jesus Christ Johnson.
And I'm Matthew. You don't need to know the rest of my name.
Watson?
Nope.
And we're here with Big Damn Cast, nerdy news, geeky gossip, stuff fit to fill the time before the inevitable log flume towards the grave. Because let's at least make it a fun journey there, right?
Yes.
Let's make it fun.
Despite how the BBC try to ruin things by nominating J.K. Rowling for writing awards for her essays.
Oh, fuck me. So I don't know if that's the worst thing they've done this week. It's either that or confirm 5 more Mrs. Brown's Christmas specials.
I can't decide which is the worst crime against humanity.
That's the thing. One of them is morally unforgivable and reprehensible, and the other is nominating J.K. Rowling for... that was gross, wasn't it?
The only thing they could think of to top giving us 5 more Mrs. Brown's Boys festive specials was saying that J.K. Rowling's essay on why trans people don't exist is one of the 5 best essays of the year.
Just what a tone deaf.
It's so stupid. Have you read the write-up for it as well?
I read the first couple sentences and went, I have to go now. And I left it be.
I have no opinion on the issues she raises. Fuck off.
But I stand by the fact that she has... You know what that is? That's somebody who doesn't agree with her being told to write about her for that thing and having to just go,
I don't know.
I have no opinion on the topic. What I'm talking about is her expressing her views, and that is a good thing. And in the face of adversity, what about the fucking hundreds of thousands of people whose lives have been made shittier because of the rhetoric she's spreading and the misinformation she's spreading?
She's facing such adversity.
Merry Christmas, motherfuckers.
Merry Christmas. Everyone.
Oh, to everyone! This is since the new Director General took over and was like, "Oh, the BBC's too left leaning. We need to make more right leaning content." What's too left leaning? All the comedy. It keeps poking fun at the government and the right.
What, like
Great.
comedy does?
Cool, like comedy's meant to do. Punch upwards. Do you remember how when Blair was in power, it was all about Blair and taking the piss out of Blair? Do you remember that? You don't? Of course you don't, because the right have been in power for far too long. Maybe it's time for a change. The point is, hi, this isn't a political podcast, but if you disagree with us, you're a twat. So, I'm being facetious for the sake of comedy, or whatever it is we're calling this. Comedy's probably too strong a word. What we do have... Funny. Yeah, that's very fine. I know that. I've been doing a pantomime for the last 2 solid weeks, and no fucker's ever laughed at my jokes.
To be fair, there was no one else in the room.
There was no one else in the room because it was live streamed from a green screen studio. So maybe they were laughing at my jokes, but I didn't hear it. That's been weird this year. We'll get back to pantomimes in a bit as well. We'll talk a bit about it. But our Christmas tradition this year is sort of flattened out because normally we would record a Christmas special in November, get a bit pissed, maybe have some mince pies, stick on something Festoyev or talk about Festoyev films or yay. Whereas this time, the Ghost of Christmas Past is peering around the door. No, just asking me if I fed the pets while she's been out, to which the answer is, ho, ho, no. No, I've not.
Oh, no.
Yeah, because it's Christmas and they need to learn to be grateful. So I've let them fight amongst themselves. But this year, we had 2 pre-records go out the last 2 weeks, in case anyone was completely surprised to hear that news. Meaning that this week, we've got catch-ups to do. So we're going to get festive later. But first off, the 2 weeks we take off,
yes,
Disney just drops trow and unleashes a festive... You know the mashed potato mountain from Close Encounters?
It was that, but it was entirely composed of Star Wars TV shows.
Which is impressive, like the amount of fibre they've had to eat.
I mean, how Oprah Winfrey of spin-offs. It was just like, you get a spin-off, and you get a spin-off, and you get a spin-off.
And I suppose Nat Geo gets some stuff, but you get a spin-off, and you get a spin-off.
Everyone's getting a spin-off. It's like the old EU, but instead of like short stories in a collection, it's a spin-off TV show.
Yeah.
Everyone's getting one.
Yeah. Let us. I'm gonna pull up the full thing so we can cover every show.
Yeah, because I
that
just
is,
kind of
is happening.
I saw all the news come out and I was just like, I can't deal with all this right now. I can't sift through all this.
I mean, there was a hell of a lot. Like the shareholders are not usually the people you think of going to for all of your new shit.
No, it was just a huge. I think that was what put me off from being able to sort of go through it all, was because there's been so many rumours, particularly with things like, this Star Wars thing and Spider-Man news and all sorts of that. I was like, I don't want to have to sift through and sort what the casting rumours are from the actual announcements and all that nonsense. I couldn't do it.
I mean, it's a fairly large amount of
so
things
much
to suddenly
stuff.
Drop trow and reveal to the world, but I'd say ultimately it's just encouraging, because one of the few platforms this year I have really, been happy to have has been Disney Plus. Mostly just to have access to things that I enjoy already, knowing that, there it is. I can leap in and check it out whenever I want. Mm. But the promise of the new stuff at the start of this year was one of the hooks. A lot of that new stuff got delayed indefinitely in some cases. We got dates
some of it's
for
coming sooner than we think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we didn't get it last year, but we're getting it now, mother truckers. But it was still kind of, I'm paying for this thing, but I'm not really getting it yet. That's kind of upsetting.
Yeah.
Sure. And then this shareholder meeting happens and goes, oh, no. Don't worry about it. That, like 80 quid you've paid over the course of this year, you're going to feel it's worth it retroactively. It's fine. It's like, okay,
don't even trip, dog. We got you.
Yeah. You son of a bitch. I'm in. So, Investor Day 2020, here are the announcements in order of the public release.
All right.
This is them, baby cakes.
I'll tell you which ones I hadn't heard.
Raya and the Last Dragon, the Walt Disney Pictures proudly presents next motion picture, which was
we knew about that.
Originally coming either late this year, early next year. However, that is coming to cinemas that can obviously show it, and Disney Plus Premier Access. So Mulan style, but probably with a revised price point. Let's be honest.
I wouldn't assume that.
Well, they made a huge loss on Mulan.
They're making a huge loss on Disney Plus.
Yeah, but they made a huge loss on Mulan with that model. The second week it dropped down by like 78%. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was a revised price point. Failing that, they'll do what they did with Mulan and less than a month later put it out on physical media and digital download.
Yeah.
So I do want to see this, and if the reviews are decent but the price is stupid, I'll happily wait for the Blu-ray and pick up the Blu-ray when it comes out, or it's a bit cheaper. But yeah, Raya and the Last Dragon is coming March the 5th. Across Disney Plus, Hotstar, Hulu, and ESPN Plus, Disney Direct Consumer Services have over 137 million subscriptions. In 2021, Disney Plus will launch more markets, including Eastern Europe, South Korea, Hong Kong, and more. So, the expansion. It be happening, my lord.
Yes.
Also, launching soon are Star and Star Plus, general entertainment content brands outside of the US that will build on the success of Disney Plus, and it'll end up becoming the 6th brand title in the app across Europe and Australia and Canada going forward.
Yeah.
What this means is essentially a lot of the TV stuff that works within Hulu and Hotstar will be congregated into a, hey, have you got Disney Plus? Here's an extra category with reality TV, documentary TV specials that we wouldn't put in the other categories. Because, of course, the categories at the minute are Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, Pixar, and Nat Geo. So here's more things, everybody. Which, great, sure, new category.
That's also where they're going to put their sort of adult-oriented movies as well that they got from Fox, isn't it?
Yeah, Hulu will, Star Plus in other territories will launch exclusive original films produced by 20th Century Studios and Searchlight. So, 20th Century Studios is going to be in 2 divisions, including Searchlight. So Fox Searchlight lives on, which is encouraging to hear in terms of, like, at least the kind of films that will be released now that Disney have hold of it.
Yeah.
This I assume Searchlight and 20th Century Studios will also effectively replace, the old Miramax staple and Touchstone, things like that. The stuff that Disney would normally put out non-kids entertainment through. It's like, well, we can put it out through this now.
Yeah.
So let's head into the field for updates from ESPN. Basically a shitload of new football. American football deals have been made.
Don't care.
And we're skipping through. I mean, there's documentary. Okay, we're skipping through.
I mean, what's the documentary stuff?
You don't care. Okay. That's what it's called.
Don't care.
Matt don't care. Coming soon to Hulu. Speaking of Hulu, brand new series, Only Murders in the Building, is reuniting Steve Martin and Martin Short. It's a comedy season, with Selena Gomez joining them on that one. You may have heard the unbelievable tale of Elizabeth Holmes, but not like this. The Dropout, starring Kate McKinnon, is coming to Hulu and Star. Dope Sick, a harrowing new drama series starring Michael Keaton, Peter Skarsgård, and Rosario Dawson, who they are investing in. More on that later. Nicole Kidman and Melissa McCarthy are starring in 9 Perfect Strangers, a new thriller series from David E. Kelly. Handmaid's Tale's returning for season 4 and season 5. Okay. Weird to think that will be available on Disney Plus, but there we go.
Hey.
New seasons of Atlanta, American Horror Story, Dave, What We Do in the Shadows, Mayans, Better Things, Snowfall, and Archer are all coming to the Fox networks, so Hulu and Star for the European territories. So we'll be getting Archer and Bat on Disney Plus, which is a weird thought.
Yeah.
The Old Man, where Jeff Bridges stars as a former CIA operative who's forced to reconcile with his past, is coming to FX on Hulu. No word on whether that is a film or a series, but I imagine a series because it's FX. From creator Ryan Murphy comes American Horror Stories, a new anthology spin-off from American Horror Story.
Oh, an anthology spin-off of the anthology show.
Well, my main criticism of American Horror Story has always been that it's way too lax on itself as an anthology. So maybe this is one where I'll actually like it. Who knows? I don't know. I don't care for American Horror Story. I always think each series should be 5 episodes shorter and pick one fucking topic. It's in an asylum. Oh god, that can be quite frightening and tense. Yeah, and there's Nazis. What? And also aliens. Huh? And Satan. Fucking pick one lane. Anyway,
let's see how many episodes James Corden's in.
Scripted anthology series from BJ Novak. Platform coming to FX.
Okay.
Character-driven stories about the world we live in today. We have Reservation Dogs, a new half-hour comedy series about 4 Native American teenagers growing up on a reservation in eastern Oklahoma. Currently in development from co-creators Sterling Harjo and Taika Waititi. So they're FX continuing their relationship with Taika. It's taken 1,000,000 fucking years, but Brian K. Vaughan and Paya Guerra's Why the Last Man is coming to Disney Plus through the FX and Stars extension.
Don't believe you.
Starring Diane Lane. So that is on its way.
I will believe it when I see it with my own peepers.
Well,
when I sit down and watch that first episode, I will believe it.
Something else you're going to see with your own peepers. Fargo and Legion's Noah Hawley is bringing us Alien. FX's TV series spinning out of the world of the 1970s classic.
I see. Apparently they've got multiple Alien series in development.
Well, that's the first confirmed. That's the first project, and it's currently in development is the category. So basically, we're having meetings, and it's going to happen, but we don't have a surefire plan yet. So everyone, hang tight.
I'd like to see more Alien stuff that James Cameron,
that Ridley Scott leaves the hell alone. Yeah. Lastly, for FX, they're developing a retelling of James Clavell's saga Shogun. Which is coming to FX, which has its title, but currently no other information.
Okay.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is renewed through to season 18.
Nice.
Making it the longest running sitcom in American TV history, live action. Now for Lucasfilm. At the time, their announcement was catch up on the new series of Mandalorian. As of today, and again, following on what we're going to be doing in a bit after this, guys, spoilers for Mando Series 2.
Yeah.
So tread with caution from this moment on. As of today, there is no confirmation of Mandalorian Series 3. But that may be because the characters will be involved in a different story, which we'll get to. So, yeah, that it was odd. People thought that was strange because they said that there were 10 Lucasfilm projects to talk about, and they only announced 9. They announced 9 and mentioned Mandalorian catch up on Series 2 now on Disney Plus. We now know what the 10th is. As of the end credits of The Mandalorian episode 16.
I would be shocked if there's not a season 3.
Yeah, I think if we're getting a season 3 of Mando proper, it'll be after that. So probably a 2022 season, which is fine. We have a lot of Star Wars to look forward to. There's no rush.
From the way that Pedro Pascal's been talking on social media, it seems like he's not done with it. So
yeah, and maybe he's in the thing we will mention later. Who knows?
That won't surprise me.
Who knows or dares to... Because there's a massive thread left open at the end of episode 16 where it's like, no, but where are they going with that, though? Where's... Forget that thing. Where's Din's story going to go now?
Yeah.
After he gets hold of the thing. Anyway, Rangers of the New Republic, an original series set within the timeline of The Mandalorian, is coming to Disney+. So, Rangers of the New Republic, no cast or anything announced as of yet, but likely to be a vehicle for, or was intended to be a vehicle for Cara Dune, perhaps? Because it seems to be about law keepers and marshals and rangers and cops of the New Republic. So possibly, I mean, hell, if they turn around and went starring Timothy Oliphant as Cobb, what's it?
Yeah,
what's his name? What's his name again? Cobb Vanth.
Cobb Vanth.
Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, sure, fucking bring it on. Ahsoka. A new original series starring Rosario Dawson, set within the timeline of The Mandalorian, is coming to Disney+. So this will either be set pre the Jedi episode of Mando Series 2 or post. Probably post, considering the Rebels story is apparently not done as of The Mandalorian. So, yeah. Andor, an original series set in the Star Wars universe, is streaming 2022. It is already well into production. We knew about this. We knew that a Cassian Andor and K2SO series was in development. We now know what it is, and that it is, of course, set before Rogue One, because otherwise, the fuck? Diego Luna, he's a great actor. I didn't rate him in Rogue One. I hope we get to see a little bit more charisma.
I thought he was good.
I hope we just get to see a bit more charisma and levels from Cassian Andor this time around, because I always found Cassian so boring. I was like, oh, for God's sake. But I think a lot of that was down to just the screen time for the character.
Yeah,
an interesting story and not much room given to explore it. Well, now we get the room in Andor. Which, to be fair, is a very Star Wars sounding name. Andor, a Star Wars series. It's like, oh, okay, sure. Obi-Wan Kenobi, which we knew about. It is coming to Disney Plus, but the big reveal here was of another cast member joining the show. Hayden Christensen returning as Darth Vader.
Which is an interesting choice.
Because, he's in a mask, right? Does it have to be Hayden? I guess Hayden just went, look, I've got a very free 2021 and I still have the platform shoes. So if you want to, I don't mind. I know Pedro's not in the suit all the time, but he's in it a bit and gets paid. So I could do that.
I think he's been in the suit a lot more for season 2.
You can tell when he's in the suit because he has broader shoulders than the other performer.
Oh, okay.
I noticed that in the last episode. Really obvious. I was like, "Yep." Now I can play the drink when it's Pedro game.
I can believe the next.
In fact, I'll drink now.
It's Coke. I believe the biggest reason he wasn't in the suit that much for season 1 was scheduling.
Wonder Woman 84 as well.
Yeah.
Been filming that like a bad boy.
I believe he's been in the suit much more for season 2.
Yeah, he's so good. But Obi-Wan and Anakin, who'll have the high ground? Probably McGregor. He's slightly taller.
Hey.
We got a sneak peek at Star Wars: The Bad Batch, the new animated series spinning out of Clone Wars.
Yeah, I'm slowly making my way through Clone Wars. I'm at the start of season 2 now, so
I'm late season 2. I'm at all the Mandalore stuff. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'll
probably get there by the time this airs.
Where you're at right now is kind of sort of the Saturday morning cartoon filler season. It's not great. It's got fun moments, but it's mostly just sort of comfort food in the background.
Yeah, what was the last one I watched? I think it was.
I mean, have you had what's his name? Is it Cad Bane?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so there's some interesting characters rock up. We're like, oh, they're kind of cool.
I think the one with the brain worms was the one I watched.
Well, that's season 2, isn't it?
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Oh shit! Oh, so you're on Geonosis. Yeah. That's where
Geonosis now, I think. But
that's where it starts to keep with arcs. It has arcs now going forward. Yeah, it's more fun from where you're at. It's like when you introduced me to the American Office. It's Office Series 2 rules. Just skip to Office Series 2.
Yeah.
So the Bad Batch, clone troopers, and I mean the trailer even ends with the Clone Wars logo burning away to reveal the logo for the Bad Batch. So it's the same sort of art style, meaning that even though Rebels was similar, but Resistance and everything looks completely different. If you want to stick with that aesthetic, the Bad Batch.
Some of those characters turn up in Rebels, so presumably that'll be filling in the gaps for Captain Rex and the crew.
And there's a lot of Tarkin as well in the trailer, which does make me happy.
Interesting.
Star Wars Visions, an original series of animated short films celebrating the Star Wars galaxy through the lens of the world's best Japanese anime creators. Ooh. So effectively, the Animatrix for Star Wars for a whole season.
The Anakin.
Do you remember when people thought that was going to be a new thing after the Animatrix? The only other studio that attempted it was still Warner's. It was Gotham Knight.
Yeah.
Which was sort of just before The Dark Knight came out.
Yeah.
They released Gotham Knight, and it was just 6 short films, all in different animation styles, set in the world of Bale's Batman, Nolan's Batman. And it's great, but it's kind of yep. And then the tradition died. Well, it's back now, but with Star Wars and anime. And I'm intrigued. I can't lie.
Color me curious.
Lando Calrissian is returning in Lando, which at the time they didn't confirm, but it appears that Donald Glover is reprising the role.
Joint,
I've seen a lot of joking about can it not be like young Indiana Jones Chronicles or whatever, and have like the way they wanted that to be, and have Billy D. Williams do the intro and the outro, like as old Lando telling a story to someone. I mean, I'd watch the shit out of that.
Yeah.
In fact, fuck it, just give us a parallel storyline.
Yeah.
Where we see it out of sequence. But yeah, more work for Donald Glover's fine by me. The guy's a talented motherfucker.
And an excellent Lando.
And looks good in a cape.
Boy, does he look good in a cape.
Leslie Headland brings a new Star Wars series to Plus called The Acolyte. Described as a mystery thriller that will take viewers into a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic.
So this is interesting because this is the first sort of this is the first filmed material for the High Republic sort of setting that's been announced, because they've announced novels and comics.
Yeah, and a few of them have come out already, and like toys seem to be on the horizon as well.
But nothing for like visual media. So this will be interesting.
This is going to be the live action Star Wars series that your emo teen self wished it had seen, boys and girls.
It's the closest we're going to get to a Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah, but from the POV of a Sith conspiracy. So it's like, okay, sure. Lucasfilm Animation is teaming up with Lucasfilm's visual effects team, ILM, to develop Star Wars Adventure for Disney Plus, A Droid Story. So this appears to be like a spiritual successor to Caravan of Courage, Droids, like that kind of the 80s attempts to spin off Star Wars into animation. But being made by the same teams who've worked on Clone Wars and a shitload of movies over the years. So it's like, okay, I'm intrigued. And they've confirmed that R2-D2 and C-3PO will be in it, but they will not be the main character. The main character will be a new droid character.
Oh, good, because Droids was so great. It was so great.
Don't make me put on Caravan of Courage, boy. We'll Ewok it. Lucasfilm announcements, obviously we can talk about it now, that another one that they've announced since is the Book of Boba Fett, which appears to be the 10th project from the Star Wars side of things. Mm-hmm. Tamura Morrison and Ming-Na Wen confirmed as returning. We will talk about what that could mean in a little while.
Yes.
Lucasfilm also had a couple more announcements. Willow, an ongoing original series from Lucasfilm.
I think this had been confirmed.
Yeah, but starring Warwick Davis, and the pilot already made, presumably, directed by John Chu. So,
okay,
yeah, going to be interesting.
I should revisit Willow.
Surely it can't be about Willow, because Warwick Davis is a hard-working actor, but like, that's a lot of episodes to lump on somebody of that age. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot to give him if it's going to be to that same level of like action, adventure, and swashbuckle and fantasy as the film. I can imagine it's probably going to go down the ensemble cast route.
We'll see.
Because, you know, how many more series... I'm not saying... I'm making it sound like Roy Davis is like 90. But do you know what I mean? It's just like, how many more... And also, is it going to be weird to have a Willow thing without Mad Martigan in it?
No.
Because I doubt Kilmer's going to be involved. Like, he can't talk really anymore.
No.
So it's... Which sucks, because he's a big part of why that film's enjoyable as well. The two of them in it are brilliant. So... I don't know. Colour me intrigued, but I don't know where they could go with this unless they're about to like unleash a Willow the next generation sort of concept onto us all. But didn't we say all we needed to say in the first Willow?
Must we go tropical?
Yeah. Lucasfilm is also in pre-production on the next installment of Indiana Jones, which we've touched on before. The only thing keeping me intrigued in this, is Ford v Ferrari / Le Mans 66 and Logan director James Mangold is heading it. That's the only thing that's got me going. He did a story about a grizzled hero on his literally on his last legs, dealing with the shit around him, and pulled it off. Can he do it again with Indy? Maybe. So that if you have to make this movie, casting Mangold is the smart decision. Giving Mangold the job of directing it is the smart decision.
Yeah.
Is it a film we need to see? I think a lot of our hang-ups about it exist because we've already seen them attempt a new indie movie and it sucked.
Yeah.
Now,
is any film a film we need to see, really,
yes.
Chris?
Yes. Yes.
Is it?
Yeah.
But is it?
Yeah, Galaxy Quest. Everyone should watch it at least once a month. So now we move into the Star Wars film realm. Before we do, Lucasfilm also announced Children of Blood and Bone, the New York Times best-selling novel by Tomi Yimes. Apologies, Tomi. It's been developed by Lucasfilm. Coming-of-age adventure follows a young African girl's quest to restore magic to her forsaken people, the Magi. So,
okay.
Lucasfilm, original property based on a novel that's nothing to do with George Lucas's previous properties. Great. Okay, let's do it. Taika Waititi definitely confirmed to be making a Star Wars movie. We knew, but they also released like an image logo, which was, it sort of looked like the holiday specials logo.
Yeah.
Which is like, what could this be? I'm there. I mean, the guy's meant to be fronted up a load of animated Roald Dahl adaptations for Netflix. At first I was like, do we need those? Taika Waititi's doing it, and I'm interested. Let's see where this goes. Best Star Wars news, as far as I was concerned, though, came from Patty Jenkins.
Yes.
The teaser trailer has nothing to do with the content of the film, rather why she's doing it. She talks about her father, her late father, was a fighter pilot in the Air Force in the States, and you know, she always looked up to him. She grew up on runways and learning about the people who like risk their lives for their country and who fly and, you know, do the impossible. And she was always sort of looking for a story to tell that could incorporate her love and admiration for her father into a world. And you can now that she said that, you can see it in Wonder Woman in the first one. God, you can see it. Yeah. It is there. Like, it's like, okay. And in the teaser, she basically says, the two things have come together and I can tell the story that I think I'm excited to tell. And it's freaking Rogue Squadron. We are getting a new Star Wars movie, which we before this, we did not know we were getting anytime soon.
No.
And it looks set for a 2022 release. So we're getting a new Star Wars film in the, you know, imminent future. And it's by Patty Jenkins, and it's based on one of the most beloved video games to come out of the franchise.
Well, it was an EU sub-series first.
Oh yeah, but for me, I'll always think of the N64. Like, yeah. I'm always thinking of that kind of oh yeah. But I know what you mean. It's because I mean it's had a resurgence lately as Squadrons,
yes,
for the current gen, which was received like fairly well. It was like, yeah, it's fun. Like, it's a flight game. It's Star Wars themed. It's not full price. So if you want something that's going to take you like 8 hours to complete, go enjoy. And it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I think people were more into the multiplayer. So
yeah. Oh, come on.
Apparently very good.
Flying around with your friends in space. Yes, please. Yeah. Sounds awesome.
Apparently, it's also set post Rise of Skywalker.
Now that intrigues me. Because it means we're not about to get a rejig of any previous Rogue Squadron stories from the
because you'd have
from
to
the Legends universe. Yeah,
Wedge and Luke.
I mean, you could still have Wedge in this because we know he's alive thanks to Rise of Skywalker making a cheeky little cameo. So
I don't think he will be though.
Oh, he will. That'll be why he did the cameo. So we could be like, yeah, fuck it, sign me up, sailor. Nat Geo, we've got a documentary on Cousteau, Jacques Cousteau. Called Cousteau. From executive producers Brian Grazer and Ron Howard, the fourth installment of Genius will premiere exclusively on Disney Plus and is all about Martin Luther King Jr.
Cool.
Secrets of the Whales, narrated by Sigourney Weaver, for Nat Geo. And Jim Cameron and Nat Geo explorer Brian Skerry shot it. So there we go.
Okay, that should be.
He's got to do something whilst putting Avatar releases back again. A Real Bug's Life is an adventure into a world beyond your imagination where life is a completely different scale and little creatures rely on amazing powers to make it through the day. So that is definitely a, hey...
Post-Brexit Britain.
Now we're... That's definitely a, hey Disney, hey Nat Geo, now that like we're working together, can we make a documentary but use sort of the title of one of our films? Yeah, sure, why not? I'm intrigued. The teaser promo image for it is this insanely high definition shot of a tiny beetle with psychedelic colours all over it. And I'm like, okay, sure. Take me there. Let's go. America the Beautiful, an ambitious story of North America. So, propaganda. go on a mission to discover the limits of the human body and find out how to stay healthier and younger for longer. From Nat Geo, Limitless with Chris Hemsworth is a 1-part science, 1-part action adventure documentary. So basically, Chris Evans going, I'm really fit, and here's how I could be fit in snow, and here's how I could be fit in water.
Welcome to Anatomy Park.
Oh God. Darren Aronofsky has teamed up with Will Smith to this is only the do you know about this?
Father.
No, it's a documentary. It's a documentary about the secrets of the planet's most extraordinary unexplained phenomena. So Darren Aronofsky's shooting it.
Oh, what?
Will Smith is hosting it.
What?
So essentially, the Chris Hemsworth one and this one seem to be the continuation of the world according to Jeff Goldblum formula of like, we're going to take someone who you love, who can deliver these stories and be passionate about it and be interesting. I think it's a good call. Like if they've got the money,
yeah, all right, sure.
Like
sure.
get more people interested in the National Geographic stuff who maybe wouldn't have checked it out before. I prefer this to the reality TV. But the thing about this is the working title for this show, and I'm so upset that it's the working title because it better be the fucking title. So, just to reiterate, it's about the extraordinary, unexplained phenomena of our planet, right?
Yeah.
Will Smith and Darren Aronofsky going around the world and looking at things like, geysers and volcanoes and things like that.
Okay.
What do you think the working title is?
I don't know.
Welcome to Earth.
Oh.
Now, if they don't keep that as Welcome to Earth, I will only accept Welcome to Earth as an alternative.
Or Welcome to Earth.
Yeah, Earth. But they've put that working title in brackets. I'm like, no,
that's the
it's
title.
about Will Smith's hosting it. It's Welcome to Earth.
Yeah, it's
Welcome freaking do it. Oh my God. Anyway, Disney Plus updates. Melissa McCarthy's someone they're investing in because she's been producing some of these, so keep an eye out for her. But the first one is Lauren Graham is joining returning performer Emilio Estevez for Mighty Ducks: The Game Changers.
What?
The series picks up where the film left off. So, I guess they're doing Cobra Kai, but for the Mighty Ducks? Could be great, could be pointless. I'll look at the trailer. Inspired by the classic film, so it's a remake, Josh Peck of Drake and Josh fame is in Turner and Hooch. They're doing Turner and Hooch again.
Sure, of course.
Hey, just as long as they're not hiring Drake Bell. Big Shot is a celebration of girl power set in the world of high school basketball, starring John Stamos. That fantastic female lead, John Stamos. Yvette Nicole Brown and Jessalyn Gilsig. Another mystery is unfolding. Join Tony Hale and Kristen Shaw. I'm already in the Mysterious Benedict Society, based on the international best-selling book series.
Yeah, okay.
You had me at Tony Hale and Kristen Shaw, to be honest. Yeah. I'm so sorry, everyone.
What?
The Kardashian Jenners will create new global content under a multi-year deal to stream exclusively on Hulu in the US and in multiple territories on Star International.
All right, goodbye.
Yeah. Prepare for movie magic. It's time for an update on Disney Studios. Coming exclusively to Disney Plus is Hocus Pocus 2. We knew this was happening. We knew it was happening. The recent reunion charity stream where they got a shitload of the cast together and Bette Midler got them there. They're all in character and everything. It's like, yeah, this is gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Three Men and a Baby's getting a remake.
Sure.
Starring Zac Efron. So that seems to be the thing. Original Disney Channel stars who are now movie stars and TV stars in their own right, coming back to Disney Plus to do remakes of films that don't need remakes. Seems to be a bit of a thread. Safety, an original film, premiered last week on Disney Plus, inspired by the former Clemson University football safety Ray McElrathbey. The film follows a young man facing a series of challenging circumstances whose dedication helps him triumph over adversities. So they announced that on the day, and then it came out the next day. 3 new original movies inspired by the real life stories of Chris Paul, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Keanu Lowe. So, sports stories, original films based on sports stars.
Sure.
Great. There's stories to be told there. A cynical young comic book fan and her superpowered squirrel sidekick team up in Flora and Ulysses, an original movie streaming in February.
Sure.
I'd rather have Squirrel Girl, but sure.
Sure.
You ready for this?
No.
Another remake.
No.
This time with Gabrielle Union, Cheaper by the Dozen.
Yeah, I'd heard rumblings about this. I'm like, oh, sure, whatever.
The only saving grace here for me is that it's produced by Kenya Barris, the producer of Blackish. So It's like, okay, let's see. Diary of a Wimpy Kid comes to Disney Plus with an all-new animated film, continuing the live-action film franchise. So they're going that way with it. The Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild is the next installment in the Ice Age franchise. So basically Simon Pegg's characters leading a new film.
It sounds like a fucking porn parody.
Yeah, it does a bit, doesn't it? Night at the Museum's coming to Disney Plus with a new twist. This time it's animated. Sean Levy, director of the film trilogy, is producing. The exhibits open in 2021.
Yes.
Embark on a thrill ride down the Amazon in Jungle Cruise with Dwayne Johnson, Emily Blunt, et al.
Because that was supposed to come out this year, wasn't it?
This year in June, yeah. Jungle Cruise sails into theatres July 2021.
Yeah, okay. I'll believe it when I see it.
A prequel to the live-action Lion King is in development from Barry Jenkins, director of Moonlight.
Why?
Hans Zimmer, Pharrell Williams, and Nicholas Britell will provide the music.
Why?
We now have a full cast confirmation for The Little Mermaid, reimagining, unquote. Directed by Rob Marshall, featuring music from the original animation, with new music by Alan Menken and Lin-Manuel Miranda. So, the only thing there to get me going, is that they've teamed those two up to make new songs for it.
Yeah, okay.
I'm like, all right, the current go-to guy for the Disney stuff, and the composer of the majority of the Renaissance and the songs we love.
Okay.
So, okay, here is the confirmed cast. We already knew Halle Bailey, is Ariel. But we now have confirmation that Scuttle is Awkwafina, who we knew was in it, but now we know. Jonah Howard-King is Prince Eric. Melissa McCarthy is Ursula. Jacob Tremblay is Flounder.
All right.
Javier Bardem's King Triton. And most intriguing of all, because the world could do with more of him, Sebastian is going to be played by Daveed Diggs.
Hey.
So there's a good pedigree in here. I just still don't give a fuck because these reimaginings are bullshit. They're doing it. The same thing's happening again that happens each time. You hear the cast, you go, all right, okay. No, I don't like that. Oh, that's brilliant. And then the film comes out and you go, this was all pointless.
Yeah.
Chip and Dale are back in a hybrid live-action animation feature directed by Akiva Schaffer, starring John Mulaney and Andy Samberg as Chip and Dale, respectively. The film's full title, and damn fucking right that this is the title, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
Yeah.
So, there we are. Pinocchio is getting the live-action reimagining. Directed by Robert Zemeckis. Starring Tom Hanks as Geppetto. So
sure, okay,
like,
fine,
whatevs. Peter Pan's getting redone as a live-action reimagining, titled Peter Pan and Wendy. David Lowery directs. An amazing cast, including Jude Law as Captain Hook.
Sure.
I don't hate that casting, but again, what's it gonna do? Only 13, 14 bastard years too late, Disenchanted, a sequel to Enchanted, will stream exclusively on Disney+. Amy Adams is returning as Giselle. So, I want that, because I love the first one to absolute bits. It's like, really? This long? Okay, sure. We'd heard rumblings, it's confirmed Sister Act 3 is in development. Whoopi Goldberg returns to star and produce, with Tyler Perry co-producing.
Sure, whatever.
I mean, more Whoopi, but, you know.
They're not that good. They're not as good as you remember them being.
The second one's pretty damn great, but then it was
but then
it was remade as a better movie called School of Rock. Anyway, So, because let's face it, they're the exact same film. The only difference is one is a troubled school and one is a posh school. That's the difference in terms of the overall plot of the film. Obviously, there are bigger cultural differences in there, but it's the same structure.
Also,
the
one's
exact
good
same
and
structure.
one isn't.
I'll leave that up to the listeners to interpret. Raya and the Last Dragon, they revealed some more of the character designs.
Yeah.
Including ongis, these tiny little fuzzy animals in hats because sidekicks. And the actual dragon itself, Sisu, looks freaking gorgeous. It's a gorgeous design. In a world where we've had a million How to Train Your Dragon films, it's tough to find original designs that don't make you go, yeah, but they did it so much better. They found a design and it looks really good. This got me harder than a fucking something that gets hard. Disney Animation's first ever original animated series are coming to Disney Plus. So the 90s tradition of the film spinning out into animated series is continuing, albeit with CGI shows made by the same studio.
Okay.
The shows are second spin-off for Big Hero 6. This one is Baymax.
All right. Cool.
Zootopia Plus will be spinning out of Zootopia/Zootropolis.
Okay.
Princess and the Frog is getting a spin-off called Tiana. And the one I'm most intrigued about is Moana, the animated series.
Okay.
I'm interested in these because have you seen any of Tangled, the animated series?
No.
It's fucking delightful. It is really good. It starts off with a film called Tangled Ever After, which is like a 45-minute long episode.
Yeah.
And then the series goes on. It is brilliant. That's got a 2D animation style. It looks like a craft paper picture book sort of style.
Yeah.
All the original cast return, shitload of new songs with Alan Menken working on them. Load of Broadway cast members and actors appear in it as various characters. It's delightful. Like it is written with Mandy Moore and Zachary Levi reprising their roles, and it's very, very good. So the fact that they're going, that worked, let's try it for more. I'm like, okay. Let's see where this goes. First of its kind collaboration, Disney Animation and Pan-African entertainment company Kugali are teaming up to create an all-new science fiction series called Iwaju, which, from the promo image, kind of looks like if Black Panther didn't hold back in terms of the design of Wakanda. It's a beautiful piece of concept. And what I mean by that is like if they were like, yeah, fuck it. Hover cars, skyscrapers shaped like sort of crowns. We're doing it. It looks gorgeous. Colour me intrigued. Disney Animation Studios' all-new film Encanto takes us to Colombia, where a magical family live in a magical home.
Oh, yeah, we'd heard about this, yeah.
Yeah, directed by Byron Howard and Jared Bush. Music by Lin-Manuel Miranda. That is coming out later this year. Next year, rather. Pixar time.
Jesus Christ, it's taking forever.
Oh, I know, right? So, Pixar Soul's premiering at Christmas. Soul is accompanied by a short, Spark short.
Yep.
Called Burrow, following a young rabbit trying to build the home of her dreams. Inside Pixar documentary series has started now, which is about actually sort of really delving behind the scenes of what it's like to work at that studio and their projects over the years. So
yeah, I think that's going to be completely impartial.
Well, I think Marvel 616 and Imagineering story in terms of like if you're after the history and just first-hand stories and anecdotes from the people involved, this is the place to go. Obviously, we're very cynical here because like crunch, but
it's going to be somewhat sanitized, yeah.
Yeah, but hey, Imagineering story was a fun bit of educational content, and 616, what I've watched so far, has been quite fun, so I'll give it a spin. Then a collection of mini shorts called Pixar Popcorn are coming in January, with favourite characters and all new bite-sized stories. So basically, the Toy Story stories did well, so they've gone, let's just do it with more of the films.
Yeah. Probably better than making full sequels for a lot of them.
First of 3 new Pixar series coming to Disney Plus is Doug Days, a spin-off from Up, featuring Doug the dog.
Okay.
Then they're going ahead with a new series following Lightning McQueen and Mater on a road trip across the country. So, like the Cars fan in your life can dive into that. I'll avoid it like the plague.
Sure.
And then their first ever long-form original animated series, Win or Lose, Show follows a middle school softball team in the week leading up to their championship game, and each episode's told from the perspective of a different character. I'm interested by that. Pixar doing a long-form TV show. Okay. Let's go. Let's see what you've got. Why not? You got the budget. Let's do it. The next feature film is Luca, which is about a friendship over an unforgettable summer. That's out next summer. Mm-hmm. Then Turning Red, which directed by the director of Bao. Remember the one about the dumpling?
Oh,
the
yeah,
short
that
film.
was good. That was good.
It's about Mai. She experiences the awkwardness of being a teenager with the added twist. When she gets too excited, she transforms into a giant red panda. Coming to cinemas early 2022.
Sure.
Then the news that stirred controversy in some camps. In 2022, we are getting Lightyear, which is a film about the story the Buzz Lightyear toys are based on. So it's not about Buzz Lightyear, the action figure. It's probably in universe. It's probably going to ignore the Toy Story films completely. It's basically Pixar doing a sci-fi action-adventure movie about Buzz Lightyear joining what they called Star Command. So that's what it is. Chris Evans is voicing Buzz Lightyear. A lot of people kicked off and went, Tim Allen or no? And it's like, really? I mean, yeah, he's Buzz Lightyear, but this isn't that Buzz You're saying no to Captain... Sure, fine, whatever.
Sure. Also, Tim Allen's kind of an asshole, so...
Yeah. In fact, I read an interview with Chris Evans. He talked about the fact that when they first approached him about it, he was like, but Tim Allen is Buzz Lightyear. And they went, yeah, but you're not playing that Buzz Lightyear. He's like, okay. Okay. I'll take it. And the still they've released is very 2001: A Space Odyssey in its look. And it's a good interpretation of that character in a more a less toyetic setting. Yeah. Also means Chris Evans is the third on-screen canonical Buzz Lightyear after Tim Allen and Patrick Warburton for the animated series.
Yeah, of course.
As Disney say in their announcements, it was inevitable. Updates from Marvel Studios. WandaVision! January 15th! Yep. That new trailer is fucking beautiful.
I'm very excited for that.
Especially when Monica Rambeau shows up and it's like, how'd you get her? She's like, I don't know. And the eeriness of this is so freaky. It
looks very odd.
Get glimpses of Kat Dennings and other characters are popping up and you're like, what the hell is happening? This is weird. I want it now. Well, we don't have to wait long. Another 3 weeks. Bring it on. Is it going to be week by week? I kind of hope so. I've been enjoying the Mandalorian appointment style again. That's been fun.
It's Saturday morning ritual for us. And now it's over. So, yeah.
More telly, please. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. We knew about this. March 25th, 2022 is the new date, starring Benedict Cumberbatch, Elizabeth Olsen, Benedict Wong, Rachel McAdams. Yes, well done. Well fucking done. One that I didn't know at all is, apologies for mispronouncing this, Zoxitil Gomez. I'm very sorry. As America Chavez.
All right, interesting.
And Chiwetel Ejiofor is returning, which makes me very happy because I'm like, I'm sorry, if you do a bunch of Doctor Strange movies and Mordo isn't fucking Baron Mordo, I'll be very upset.
Yeah. You
set it up in the post-credits. Don't leave it hanging. He makes an excellent villain. I want to see him go bad guy in this. Yeah. They also confirmed that, yes, it is directed by Sam Raimi, and it is part 2 of 3 stories. The first being WandaVision, the second being Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and the third being the as-yet untitled Spider-Man sequel. Which puts a lot of hype/information into the rumours and now confirmed things for that movie, which makes, as you know, makes me sad, because I don't want it! I don't particularly want that either, but hey, we'll see what happens. But knowing that Sam Raimi's involved in its inception gives me some faith, at least. Because if they are going to turn back to his era as part of their next story, at least he's setting it up in this film.
But also, they'll have already filmed that Spider-Man film by the time they film this.
Oh no, this has already been in production. They've not done location. Yeah, they've not done location stuff.
Oh shit! All right.
Yeah, they've been squirreling away. They've been squirreling away on this one. You've probably noticed Elizabeth Olsen's been relatively quiet on a lot of social media.
Okay.
Because she is also supposedly the antagonist of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, spinning out of the events of WandaVision. So, well, we shall see. Marvel Studios, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which we knew about, but we now have a fucking really fun teaser trailer for.
Yeah, it looks good.
Is coming sooner than we thought, considering the delays. We get WandaVision in January. Just over 2 months later in March, we get this show. That makes me happy.
Interesting.
Highlights in the trailer include a motorcycle chase and a really gorgeous sequence where the Falcon is like flying away from planes that are firing rockets at him through a canyon.
Yeah, it looks like they've spent some serious fucking money on this.
They've gone, action? Action. Let's do action. The next bit of Marvel we'll get chronologically next year is, of course, Black Widow, coming out in May. Still selected as released to theatres.
Yes.
So there we go.
We shall see.
Loki is coming May 2021. So basically, we're getting a lot of these Marvel shows next year. The reason this is significant is because they dropped what they call the first look, which they usually do when they're like, it's just a little featurette about it. No, this is a full-blown teaser trailer. And fuck me, does it look good?
Yeah, it looks really interesting.
It's what we thought it was. It's Loki dealing with the time and thingy intervention agency. And Owen Wilson is indeed playing that character who was basically a knockoff of Doctor Who in the Marvel comics after they weren't allowed to use him anymore. And the settings are great. They're calling back to recent designs, like the whole presidential stuff from a few years ago. Like he's literally there with the goddamn button and the green waistcoat. Some people have spotted similarities with the plane sequence to a real life conspiracy about a guy who apparently went missing mid-flight.
DB Cooper.
Yeah, and the way he's dressed in it, and it's like, wait, no, it looks really interesting. I am so intrigued by this now.
Yeah.
And it's great to think we're getting it way sooner than we would have done as well. Like we were going to be getting this much later, and now no, it's a trilogy. Like January, March, May. There's your 3 Marvel shows.
Impressive.
Speaking of, in summer we get What If, a trailer that gave me freaking goosebumps.
Oh yeah.
Especially because you don't think of the words "what if" as being remotely sort of like what, like atmospheric or whatever. But as soon as Jeffrey Wright's saying that at the end, I'm like, hairs on arms, standing on end. It looked gorgeous, and it's kind of sad to hear T'Challa talking because you're like, oh god, is this technically the last thing that's going to be released after his passing? Like, because everybody recorded their stuff for it a few years ago, so. And nearly every person's reprising their role in the this trailer as well. Only really shows us like 3 or 4 of them. Like there's a lot left off the table. But Sam Jackson, Haley Atwell, Michael Rooker, like you hear them all in the trailer. Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings. We're still getting it next year, and we're getting it in July. In fact, Simu Liu, who's playing Shang-Chi. Has been very openly talking about the fact that, we've been filming it. Like, we're making it right now.
Yeah.
It's happening. Cast list, interestingly, no longer lists the Mandarin. So either they're hoping we forget, or the character is going under a different pseudonym.
Yeah.
We'll see. Ms. Marvel, we get a little reel showing some of the filmings already happened, with Iman Vellani in the role. Looks like they're really focusing on the family aspect. She's way younger than I realised. She looks super tiny and like a proper youngster. So I guess they're going for the whole, let's do it. Kid superhero. Let's go.
I think she's supposed to be like 14 when she starts off, isn't she? So I think that's... 14-year-olds are younger than you think they are.
Yeah. I'm just old. I'm close to the grave.
Also, we watch a lot of TV shows where fucking 25-year-olds are playing 14-year-olds.
That's true.
So...
She's not only playing Ms. Marvel in Ms. Marvel, she's reprising the role in Captain Marvel 2, now confirmed, coming out late 2022.
Great.
Brie Larson, of course, reprising her role as Carol Danvers, and Monica Rambeau, played by Teyonah Parris from WandaVision. So
cool.
Based on Ms. Marvel and Monica Rambeau being in it, it's set present day, so we have a Captain Marvel movie set present day.
Yeah. All right.
Eternals. I don't know what's going on with the date. They don't mention it. So it was penned in for next November. Maybe it still is, but no confirmation or whatever. Just a reminder of who the cast are.
Which is weird, because that's done.
Yeah, we would have seen it by now.
Yeah, so. That's in the can, so odd.
Haley Steinfeld is indeed playing Kate Bishop alongside Jeremy Renner in original series Hawkeye.
Yeah, that's been filming. Seen bits of that.
And it looks like they're just flat. Was it Pizza Dog? So, yeah. Additional...
Interesting to see how they use elements from that story with this version of Hawkeye.
I mean, they'll find a way. Like, they'll find it. Sometimes they just repurpose titles, don't they? I mean, Age of Ultron had fuck all to do with Age of Ultron, but it made for a good title for that story. It's just like
the imagery they're using as well, which is from that run. I'm just curious as to how they're going to sort of... what they're going to use.
I mean, I guess it depends on when it's set, too.
Yeah, I suppose.
Additional cast for that show include Vera Farmiga, Farah and newcomer Alaqua Cox as Maya Lopez.
Okay.
She-Hulk arrives to the MCU, and she pulled the fucking wool over our eyes. Tatiana Maslany is playing Jennifer Walters and She-Hulk, with the additional information that not only will Ruffalo be appearing in the series as Bruce Banner,
which he'd also denied.
Yep, but Tim Roth is returning as Abomination. That makes me very, very happy.
Yeah,
pissed off and ready for round 3, sir. Moon Knight, original series, about a complex vigilantes coming to Disney+. No confirmations. Probably Oscar Isaac. New reveal. Samuel L. Jackson is back as Nick Fury and Ben Mendelsohn as Talos in Marvel Studios' original series, Secret Invasion. So we're getting evil Skrulls. We're getting them. We're just getting them in a mini-series. So,
which bodes well for another upcoming Marvel project.
Yeah, it does. Ironheart, Riri Williams. There are 2 shows spinning out of the late Tony Stark's legacy. Dominique Thorne is playing Riri Williams, an original series about the creator of the most advanced suit of armor in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So that's going to be fun. But also, Don Cheadle's playing Rhodey in Armor Wars, a classic Marvel story about Tony's worst fear come true, what happens when his tech falls into the wrong hands. I think since they've also suggested that... oh, God, I'm having a moment. What's his name? Sam. Love him to bits. And my brain's frozen.
Who? What?
Play Iron Man 2. Plays Hammer.
Oh, Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell. There's been suggestions that Sam Rockwell is reprising his role as Justin Hammer for Armor Wars.
That would make sense. Yeah.
It makes sense, meaning that this series is a sequel to Endgame and Iron Man 2. So fair enough.
All right.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is not mentioned, though we know it is still going to happen. But we're getting an additional bit of Guardians of the Galaxy in the meantime. Christmas 2022 gives us the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, written and directed by James Gunn. I love the fucking balls on them for that.
That's quite good.
Fuck it. Like, Lego, you taking the piss now? Cool, we're going to take the piss now. Let's all reference this thing we're not allowed to talk about from the Star Wars universe and make our own. We're also getting a series of shorts, apparently live action, featuring several new and unusual Marvel characters called I Am Groot, which will be coming to Disney+.
Sure, why not?
Christian Bale is not only confirmed for being in Thor Love and Thunder, but holy shit balls, he's playing Gore the God Butcher.
Which is...
the best choice.
Interesting.
The best choice. That's a pretty fucking good choice. Blade with Mahershala Ali. We've known about this since last summer. No date as of yet, but it's on its way. One that we heard whispers of, but there's still no confirmation. And even after the announcements last year, everyone went, what about... Nah. Well, now we know. There is a third Ant-Man film coming. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, is in development. Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, Michael Douglas, Michelle Pfeiffer all returning. Catherine Newton joins the cast as Cassie Lang, which has kicked up a stink online because this is not the actress who played her in Endgame. And the actress who played her in Endgame, according to her social media, found out that she wasn't going to be in this when this announcement dropped.
That's shitty.
That is shitty. And it makes you wonder what the circumstances are as to why that went that way. But also, we have confirmation of a story we've talked about a couple months ago. Jonathan Majors is indeed playing Kang the Conqueror.
Sure.
In Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Sure.
Which, again, bodes well for something else in the future.
Love it.
Black Panther 2 is happening. It is coming out summer, July 8th, 2022. It's being written and directed by Ryan Coogler, as before. Honouring Chadwick Boseman's legacy and portrayal, Marvel Studios announced they will not recast the character, but will explore the world of Wakanda and the rich characters introduced in the first film. I'd like to throw my hat in the ring there. Please do not make Shuri the Black Panther in this continuity. I don't think Letitia Wright deserves to be held up aloft as an example of a good person anymore. See her Twitter feed. But when you've got Nakia in this continuity, and Lupita Nyong'o being an absolute fucking hero, maybe make Nakia the Black Panther? I'm not saying get rid of Shuri. Just don't make Shuri the Black Panther.
But they'll work something out.
I don't know. She seems a bit deep in the old conspiracy hole. But anyway,
they've got top men on this.
But
top men.
Cut to Letitia Wright being pushed through a room full of crates, going, "I don't get it. Are you going to put me in a crate?" No, we're just showing you our crates.
Furiously typing about Luciferin.
And the final announcement. Oh, the final announcement made me happy inside my balls and everywhere else. John Watts, director of Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home.
And a clown. Let us not forget.
And clown. Yeah, and clown. and clown.
Great bit of schlock.
It is. It's bloody horrible. It's really bloody horrible. After rapping on Spider-Man Far From Home sequel, will direct Marvel's first family in Marvel Studios' Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Yes. And what I love about this even more is, we've talked about it before, there's an Easter egg in Far From Home about Fantastic Four. When he's swinging through the city at the end with MJ. On the billboard behind him, Avengers Tower is being worked on, and the thing says, it's all these billboards up on the construction site, and it says, "We can't wait for you to see what's next." And it has a 1 in a circle, and then a line, and a 2 in a circle, and a line, 3 in a circle, and a line, and then a question mark in a circle. Now, that's the last film of Phase 3, so it could just be it's a little cheeky bit of set design to be like, Phase 4's next, like, hey, this is going to be great, we can't wait to la la la. Because obviously Far From Home came out, and then like 3 weeks later was Comic-Con, where they announced all the stuff that was happening. Yeah. But Stark Tower no longer belongs to Stark. It's not Avengers Tower. It's being rebuilt. We see construction being done on it. And now they've announced that the director of the film that has that Easter egg in it is the director of the Fantastic Four movie. They've been hinting this since last year. They've been teasing it. Little fucking bollock tease. John Watts directed that sequence. John Watts has directed the Fantastic Four movie in Phase 4.
Cast, please.
Anyway, Mando was good, right? So yeah, Krasinski and Blunt, and figure out the rest later. John Krasinski as Sue Storm, and Emily Blunt as Reed Richards.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, anything come to the top of the pile for you in terms of like TV series or films where you're like, that's the thing that you could get rid of the rest of it, and that makes me happy. Not counting WandaVision, considering it's out in like a week.
I just want Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Directed, piped into my eyes right now.
Yeah, I want some good Fantastic Four content in my brain hole.
Yeah.
That, or after the pitch trailer, Rogue Squadron, because just like Patty Jenkins' pitch in that trailer, it's like, I want to hear you tell this story to me. I want you to tell me this story.
But Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Speaking of Fantastic, Mandalorian. Spoilers.
2 weeks of Mandalorian.
Episodes 15 and 16.
Because
no.
It doesn't matter.
Because if you've not already watched them and you're waiting for our thingies, then you really should have just watched them.
Yeah, you've seen them. You know what happens.
Bill Burr. That was probably my least favorite episode of the first series, the heist one, with getting the Twiller
I like the
kind of
heist
thing.
one a lot.
Like I thought it was fine, but it was the one where when I look back over it, I was sort of like, that's the one where I'm the most indifferent. I think I'll see it differently now because this was its payoff, at least for Bill Burr's character.
Because let's not forget, they shot this season without knowing what people were going to react to the first season. Like most of they were shooting this when before the first season had finished airing.
Yeah.
So it's not like they've had time to go, oh, what do people really like about?
And it's the same director of this episode was the director of that one too. So they obviously were like, here's the long game. You're going to tell part one of his story here and part one there. Part two in this series. And they're going to be at different places. And it's sort of, at first I was kind of annoyed that this was the plot of the penultimate after the stakes at the end of the tragedy. The tragedy ends with Grogu being taken away by what we then later have confirmed as in universe as the Dark Troopers, and Mando alongside Boba and Ming-Na Wen's character, I keep forgetting the name.
Fennec Shand.
Fennec, that's it. Alongside them, it's like, right, we are going to help you. Like we said that we'd do everything we can to make sure that the child is safe. So we're coming with you. And then they go and recruit Cara Dune and realise that they have to break someone out. So episode 6 teased that they were going to break out Baba's character, and yes, episode 7 is they break him out. And I was sort of annoyed. I was like, really? Is this going to be it? Like, the stakes that high? You're going to do this for a week? What they do is they really establish that the Empire are essentially brainwashed people who've been led to believe this is a better way of life. Doesn't make them right for what they're doing at all, and it doesn't make them forgivable, but it blurs the lines. The bit where they're all applauding when they manage to avoid the pirates blowing them up and they get back to the what's-it. It's like the first time we've ever kind of seen sort of stormtroopers be jovial.
It's very human.
It's really disarming because you're like, oh, okay. And then you get to see sort of the other side of it where the Admiral is just being an absolute cunt basket and being a piece of shit.
Richard Brake, that actor, is
so good,
just great at being slimy fuckers.
So good, and the whole like that was when I finally was like, okay, I'm on board, because what you are doing is you are really trying to set up what's at stake in the wider universe, and why the use of Grogu for whatever it is Gideon's got planned is a bad thing. Whatever it is he has planned, it is a bad thing because like this is the mentality of the people in charge of this stuff. Oh my god, everyone's screwed. The pirates on the skiffs, like trying to get him, that sequence was fantastic. Mando having to wear a stormtrooper armor and clearly feeling uncomfortable was great.
And all his gear being shitty.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean the absolute highlights were the moment where Thingy flips his lid and kills the Admiral. Because it feels completely earned.
Whole speech with him is just
and that whole look to each other of like you know what's about to happen, and we're gonna have to fight our way out of here now. Because they get what they came for. They get the information on Moff Gideon's Star Cruiser, and then they have to stay there and make nice.
And of course, the whole the broken rule of him removing his helmet as well.
That scene was the highlight for me. It was good.
Everything
so
from them
good.
Getting into the base to basically the end of the episode was just
Boba with a slightly upgraded look. He's painted his armor. He's got rid of his beige tunic. The tunic is gone. He's now just in the black robes, wearing the armor plates over the top.
Not giving a fuck.
No Black Series figure announced yet, so until they are, I'm eyeing up tiny cloaks for my Boba.
Oh, he looks so good.
He looks great. And then we move into episode 16. So we still don't know what Grogu's being used for specifically, but based on the clues this series, we can ascertain that it's for Palpatine or Snoke or whatever the plan, plan evolves. Because this is not the First Order yet. This is the Empire in its broken form doing something for someone at the top. Even if they don't know who that is, they're still like, oh, the Empire's reach is this, and we're going to restore order, and la 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 la. Meanwhile, their scientist is trying to harvest the midichlorians of this child, who we now know, because of the series, is a youngling from the academy on Coruscant.
Yeah.
Like, this is a kid who was being raised to become a Jedi and has a high midichlorian count, and they have a cloning facility, we find out halfway through the series, and they're trying to make something, and it's vague enough, but it's like, is that Snoke? That's kind of Snokey. Is that like a mutated Snoke? Is this the Snoke equivalent of that room with all the Ripleys in from Alien Resurrection? So it's which kind of sucks. Yeah, well, exactly. But that's the thing. I think Exegol's like the final. It must be like they've perfected it by. This is where they flee to.
Exegol's just something that J.J. Abrams pulled out of his ass. So
yeah, he pulled it out. He pulled it out of his exit hole. So if we see the culmination of this in the Mandalorian, I'd be surprised. I think this was all and moving on, because the real
Open Range is the New Republic.
Maybe, but the real story of all this ultimately has just been about the bond forming between single dad and his green baby. Like, that's what it's been about. So when he delivers that monologue at the end of number 7, and it's almost word for word what Gideon said to them outside the canteen in series 1.
Yeah,
and
that's really
but
good.
It feels much more dangerous because you know what he will go through to save him. And it's like, so when they recruited Bo-Katan and her lieutenant, I was so happy. I was like, yes, get a Mando Death Squad in, do it.
Love the animosity between Bo-Katan and Boba as well.
Yeah, the idea again further reveals that you're not a Mandalorian. It's like, it's my father's armor. Like, why does that? So is she being racist because she knows his father is not a thingy? But then you realize, no, she's being racist because he's a clone.
She's being clonist. Yeah,
she's being clonist. She's like, no, I've heard your voice 1,000 times, she says. And it's sort of like, oh shit, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Also, Django was sort of an outcast from Mandalorian society. Like, he basically he was a foundling and then eventually ended up as a bounty hunter doing his own thing. He's not.
And now we know that, like, we have more sympathy for that side because we've seen it through Din. Like, we've watched Din's story, and Din and Django's stories were basically the same up to a point. So it's sort of like, I love the levels of that. I love that little scuffle in the bar ending with 2 flamethrowers just blazing into each other and then getting them nowhere. It's like, what are you fucking doing? Get up. I do feel like we didn't get. Here's the thing. I got the feeling that we didn't get enough Boba for our book in these 3 episodes when you watch them all back to back.
We got more Boba than we ever got in the original
That's
trilogy.
true, but like it's sort of the tragedy makes a big point of being like, this guy's on your side, look what he's capable of, holy shit, here we go, boys. Like episode 14 is like, here we fucking go, the Mandalorian's got Din teaming up with Boba Fett. And then for 2 episodes, Boba Fett's over there in Slave One, just sort of flying around a bit, I guess. But I don't mind because of what the main story actually is. And they really establish the idea of it's his ship, so he's on guard duty. He's flying around. He's shooting stuff out of the sky.
Yeah, you don't think he's going to trust anyone else to fly Slave One, do you?
Oh, God, no. I love that in the 7th episode, we actually see how the fuck Slave One functions when it comes from its landing position into you see the room around them moving as they are clearly being readjusted into the vertical position. It's like, cool. That's clever. That's really clever.
I used to have the old toy of Slave One when I was a kid, and there was a handle underneath it, so you put your hand in the handle, lifted it up, and then you
tilted it,
like a gun, basically.
Oh god, that's so cool!
And there's a little catch, and you did the catch, and then the wings went into the upright position.
I'm so annoyed with my mum for many reasons, but one of them is that she got rid of a load of my older toys that were in the loft when I moved down to London without telling me. And when I came back, I was just like, what? Including the only 2 Star Wars ships that I had, which were a TIE Fighter and an X-Wing.
Oh.
From the 90s, like, you know, thingy of the Force or whatever. Like,
Power of the Force.
Power of the Force. I would love to have them still, because those ships were beautiful, and I always wanted Slave One. Slave One is. I had a speeder bike from Jedi, so I was always happy with that. It was the one where, like, if you pressed a button on the back, it blew up, like it all fell apart. That was quite cool.
Very good.
But yeah, so that bit where he's flying toward the Imperial cruiser, and I love that they set that up. It's like, yeah, this is an Imperial starship, but it's a cruiser, so it's like 1/10 of the size. They're operating on a small crew on purpose so as not to alert anyone, but they've got, like, maybe.
Well, also they don't.
They've got like
as many
yeah
troopers left.
Like, they have
not
like
recruiting anymore.
They have like 50 on board. They have some scientists. They have like a few officers who I guess escape because we don't see them again. That there was one officer where they were showing up a lot throughout the series, the one who was like talking to Gideon the most.
Yeah.
And we see them toward the start of this story, and then they're not in it again. You're like, oh, maybe they got out. I don't know. But
either escape or they're all dead.
All dead. But they don't need that many people on board because they got the Dark Troopers.
Oh man.
So the ship entrance into the front of the cruiser was fucking brilliant. Like Slave One just firing away, firing at TIE fighters, and then just moves out the way as Bo-Katan's ship, just like, which again was an Imperial ship because she stole it in Episode 3. It's
a different. It's not the one she stole in Episode 3. It's the shuttle they steal at the beginning of this one. It's Pershing's shuttle.
Oh yes, yeah, and then she plows straight. That sequence was great as well. Like, fuck Gina Carano, but like Cara Dune. The way that moment's played, and she just point blank shoots the guy in the face.
Yeah.
And you see the scientist's reaction is like, oh god, like he's holding his ear because obviously he's just heard like laser hit flesh right next to his head. Like it's grim. So they crash through.
Don't tease Alderaan survivors.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Jeez. Oh, I love that the whole like I was on the Death Star. Really? Which one? Very funny. It's just like yeah. But like when they crash in and then they start the assault and then Mando sneaks out to go and find Grogu. Yeah. Highlights going forward. All the combat's fantastic. The fight with the Dark Trooper, the single Dark Trooper, is so good.
It's very, very good.
Just completely establishing that, these guys have no chance of ever surviving this, ever. He only manages to win because the Beskar spear pierces its like head and it shuts down. So when he then released the airlock and they all went out, I was simultaneously disappointed we wouldn't get to see them again, but really happy that like, yep, he got out of it alive. Run, Din, run! Go find your baby, your space baby.
Find your baba.
Bo-Katan, of course, wants to get the Darksaber back off of Gideon. Gideon is well aware of what their plans would be. Giancarlo Esposito is a Don. He's
so good.
So good. It's great to get, because obviously, people think of him having a go at a villain, we've got him primarily in Breaking Bad as Gus Fring. The upcoming the upcoming Far Cry game, he's going to be leaning back into that personality a bit. He's obviously got the slime ball thing going on in The Boys and whatnot, but this is him being a Saturday morning cartoon villain. Albeit a very classy one. Yeah, and he's just like, later on in the episode, we've been handcuffed and he's just smiling with bloody teeth and he just doesn't give a fuck because he's like, I know exactly where this is going. You wonder if he almost lets Mando defeat him because he knows then what happens next, because he says like, you'll keep me alive. Interesting, because he's like, I get to watch them figure out what's going to happen now, because of course Bo-Katan can't just take the Darksaber, she has to defeat the owner, even though she did. Yes. Took it from Sabine. Yes. But Rebels. That this implies that Gideon defeated and took it from her. So it's the get back. And then, like he says, it's not the saber, it's the story. Yeah. Like, so presumably she was seen as a pretender after Rebels because Sabine offered the Darksaber and she took it. She didn't beat Sabine to take it. Mm. So like she's been determined and now Mando's got it. And it's complicated, and that's the thread I'm interested in seeing them follow up on. Because he's just like, just take it, the way Kate Sackhoff plays it so well. The way she's staring at him, it's like, you fucking know I can't just take it. She's so conflicted, but then they all get interrupted because that's when Grogu's Jedi beacon from 2 episodes ago gets answered. Well, no, first the Dark Troopers turn back up again. Well, they rock up, flying back in, and as he points out, because again, Gideon didn't watch him fight the Dark Trooper, but he's anticipated everything he would have done. He's like, your gauntlet's out of ammunition, you'll have used it all up, and you blasted it sod all. It's like, God, when the Dark Troopers just punching Mando, and his helmet, of course, like Beskar's, his helmet is not that. Last episode and this episode, they make a really big point of reinforcing that Beskar is like the shit, like it is the shit. Nothing can penetrate it. Doesn't mean he can't get beaten to death or exhausted and killed. And the Dark Trooper just punching him, and the helmet not moving, but the wall just denting behind him. It's like, oh my God. Oh God, when the gas opens up into it and he uses flamethrower and it just sets on fire inside and just looks at him like, you what, mate? Annoyed. You fucking what, mate?
It just pisses it off.
So good. So when they rock back up, it is like, it's tense. I rewatched it the evening. I watched it in the morning and then I rewatched it late at night when I got back to my digs. And I was like, right, I just want to watch it while I'm going to bed. I want to watch it one more time. And I took note of when that happens. The Dark Troopers return when there are 9 minutes still to go. And I'm like, that is a lot of time. Like, that is either a full-blown action set piece and a quick wrap up, or it's what they did. Which what they did was the real denouement of this, the real finale, was the emotional impact of the last minute and a half. That was what made it, for me, that was the most impressive thing about how the series ended. Grogu going with a Jedi Master and just having that one last moment of connection with Din. When he raises his little hand and just presses it on the helmet, and Din doesn't even look around. There's no shot after that moment of him sort of looking to be like, do I do this? It's all static. And he just, hand in helmet, just takes it off, and they have their first ever bit of actual eye contact, and he just puts his little green paw on his chin.
It's amazing. It's so good.
And he holds strong, and then as he's walking away, that mid shot of the thingy, and Din is stood there, still helmetless, not giving a fuck, as he watches his little space baby go away, and no close-ups, but his eyes are fucking liquid. The best part about the whole finale for me was Pedro Pascal's performance in those. Pedro Pascal and the Puppeteer's performance in those moments.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Phenomenal work. The second most impressive thing about this last episode was when the X-Wing turned up. Because, let's face it, the Dark Troopers are here and we're all waiting for a Deus Ex Machina to get involved in some way, even if it's them fighting him off and then something shows up. I think we were all probably thinking Boba Fett. He's out there, he's circling the ship, he's going to come back full firepower, do something really badass.
He fucked off into hyperspace.
What for, though? Because wasn't Fennec with the other ones?
Yeah, so he must have come back to get Fennec,
Yeah. So, can we just take a moment to appreciate that the majority of the action in this massive Star Wars product, once again, is a majority female team of badass action heroes saving the day, and you don't see the crybabies whinging about it here. So why are they whinging about it in the films? Anyway,
I think you do somewhat in some places, but I stay out of those places now.
Fuck those guys. Guys, I look up small dick energy. The point is, it's not about the size of a member; it's about a mentality. The point is, the X-Wing rocks up, and it's like, oh, and then a robed figure with a sort of quite a tall hood comes out, and you go, oh. Ahsoka? And then a lightsaber lights up on the CCTV, and you go, yeah, okay. And then you cut to it in the room, and it's green, and you go, no!
Yeah.
They are not going there! Ladies and gentlemen, they fucking went there.
They go there.
So the Mandalorian set roughly 8 years after the fall of the Empire. So it's set roughly 8 years after Return of the Jedi.
No, 5 years after Return of the Jedi.
5 years after Return of the Jedi, thank you. This is not
8 to 9 years after A New Hope.
Yeah, so this is not Old Man Luke.
No. He's barely 30.
He rocks up in his hood, and I'm like, the kid in me watching this is just, oh my God, this is so cool. The adult in me's going, well, obviously we're not going to get a shot. It's going to be rocks up, does the thing, and Grogu goes to him, and we see them on the CCTV or whatever. Either way, that's cool. I think that's really cool that, of course, in this point in the timeline, there are only a handful of Jedi out there among the stars, and we've met one of them in this series already.
Yeah.
And it's not her, so that's really cool. Okay, they're doing Luke. And then the fight keeps going as he just absolutely lays waste to the Dark Troopers in the same way that, and the internet's pointed out a million times, but they are there. There are parallel shots in this to the action sequence at the end of Rogue One with Vader fighting through the rebels to get to the Death Star plans. And he's lifting people up to the ceiling and fighting someone over here and then dropping the person from the ceiling behind him or cutting through them. And Luke is doing that here with these droids. He's laying fucking waste to these things. Right down to the last one, just being like, forget Darth Vader choking admirals for insolence. Luke just like uses his hand and this thing compacts like it's in a goddamn vice and then dies and drops to the floor. Like, there is some darkness in this guy, just like in Jedi. Like, we see it in Jedi, but it's all for a noble cause. Like, he's not... There's not a, like, oh, he's a bad person, but he's doing it for the right reasons. It's like, no, what he's doing is genuinely for good reasons, but it's like, hey, Luke, maybe pull it back a little. Then again, we saw how bad the Dark Troopers are and how much damage they can cause. So it's like, yeah, he probably needs to make sure these things aren't going to turn on ever again.
And they're droids, Yeah.
And Star Wars has taught us anything, it's that droids don't have souls, but also they do. So there's questions about the morality of them. No, these ones don't. No, these are Terminators. These are T-800s in the Star Wars universe.
Basically. And he doesn't break a sweat. He just strolls through them.
Doesn't give a fuck. Strolls through. Din gets the doors open. He walks in. He pulls off his hood, and there's Luke fucking Skywalker.
And he doesn't introduce himself as Luke. Like, he doesn't say he's never named on screen.
Yeah.
Because you know who he is.
Yeah. Y'all know. Y'all, real ones know, motherfucker. Real ones know. He just rocks up and does his thing, and it's like, okay. Performance capture? Good. Facial mapping? Honestly, the technology's not there yet.
It's so close.
But that's why they don't do anything elaborate.
It's so close.
And I think if you were an 11-year-old watching this show, you'd just go, yeah, there he is. That's him. During it, my ears are obviously working overtime. I'm like, is that Hamill voicing him? No, it can't be. Credits, Hamill.
Yep.
He's now talked about the fact on social media on the day and on the day after, he was just posting pictures of no captions, but just pictures of himself going shh to camera, which is kind of brilliant.
Kept it secret for so long.
Yeah,
there was nothing. It was not even. I don't even remember hearing a whisper about Luke turning up in The Mandalorian.
Well, Hamill's already been in The Mandalorian. One of the Welding droids last series was voiced by him, because he has a tradition in the modern Star Wars stuff of voicing something.
Yeah.
In everything. Even Rise of Skywalker, which he's in, he still voices the Resistance's info guy, the freaking Nintendo alien, because it just looks like a character from a Nintendo game. But Mandalorian voiced a droid last series. This series, motherfucker voices himself, which I'm impressed by, because they've definitely done some vocal modulation, because Mark Hamill cannot sound like Mark Hamill sounded 30, 40 years ago.
No.
It's impossible. But you listen to him and you go, that's Jedi era Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
That's him.
That's 30-year-old Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. Like, scar on his lip, everything. Like, there he is. Okay. Sure. Haircut's a little too neat. I would have liked a bit more scruff. But sure. Whatever. Probably to do with the visual effects. Fine. We know that young Luke can be done before, because we see it in the flashback in Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
We know that Leia can be done because of that in Rogue One. Again, still not quite there. Tarkin is great until you see him for more than 30 seconds repeatedly, and then you're like, right, okay, pull it back. He shouldn't be in the film this prominently. Like, he should be in maybe 2 scenes, and that's it.
Yeah, if he's going to be in it that much, recast him.
Yeah, just recast. I know, obviously, the internet's going, Sebastian Stan! It's like, yeah, he looks like young Mark Hamill. Maybe if they want to do more Luke going forward, that's the way to do it. But I kind of hope they don't do more Luke going forward. But I do hope Grogu gets the fuck out of there. Because otherwise, about 15 years from now, Kylo Ren's going to murder him. But yeah, it's just a sweet moment, because you just realise, yep, this is the right thing for you to do, kid. You need to leave with him. You have to go with him. Be with your people and learn to protect yourself. Because that's what Luke sells it on. It's like, I will teach him how to protect himself. And it's like, yep, yes, that is what he needs.
The real neat thing about that whole scene is that Luke never pushes or insists.
No, he just stands there, stoic, waits for them to have their moment. Grogu waddles over. looking cute as a goddamn bean.
Oh, God.
And we also get an extra cheeky cameo because obviously Luke flew an X-Wing here, and you can't pilot an X-Wing without your onboard droid. So R2 wheels himself in, has a little cheeky like R2 moment, wiggling side to side, looking at Grogu, and you're just like, fuck, this is adorable. This is adorable. Why? And BB-8, good on you, but like, can we have more R2? R2 is wonderful. R2-D2 is fucking wonderful, and I like seeing him in things. It makes me happy. So, yeah, the story of Mando is done. For now. The Book of Boba is next, beginning with what seems like a hostile takeover of the criminal underworld on Tatooine. As soon as that began, I was like, twin sons? Okay, No! Of course, we never see Bib Fortuna die. He gets away.
Yeah.
And gets fat. Like, he's become a massive glutton. He's sat on Jabba's throne, which originally, of course, there's no throne there. It's just a big slab with a giant fat slug on it, eating frogs and groping bikini-clad Twi'lek women. And now it's like
practice that Bib has continued.
Is continuing, but now he's got a throne and is about 700 pounds heavier.
Yeah,
like his neck tendril is fucking huge now, and he or someone in there when the fight kicks off when Fennec arrives, someone yells McClunky, and it's like, oh, you cheeky bastards! Oh, it's great. It's great. Like, the Mandalorian has now canonized Boba Fett being cool and McClunky definitely having been a word.
We watched A New Hope over the weekend
on Plus.
Disney Plus.
Yeah, McClunky.
Unless you turn subtitles on, none of the alien language is subtitled.
That's weird.
It's really weird. You have to turn closed
I mean,
captions
I guess you still get the gist of the conversation between Greedo and Han, but like
the Han and Jabba stuff is unintelligible unless you've got subtitles on.
Jesus. And it's also pointless because Han says things in that conversation which he then repeats later on in slightly different wording.
Yes.
Because they deleted that scene during production.
Yeah,
and
it's not great.
It's bizarre. And then something I learned the other day, because of course Jeremy Bullock passed away this past week. We've lost two Star Wars legends in the past few weeks, Darth Vader and Boba Fett.
Yeah.
But I learned that the shot of Boba at the end of that was added obviously in the special editions after Han and Jabba have had the conversation and Boba like walks into frame with another Greedo alien that's dressed exactly the same as Greedo, even though we've just seen Greedo die, and you're like, you could have just put another jacket on them, like a different jacket.
Listen, it was a tight budget, all right?
Yeah, but you see Boba, I only learnt this past week that wasn't in the original film, which obviously it wasn't, because like Boba was not in the original one, like when they shot that scene, I mean. But I always kind of assumed it must have been because of Boba Fett being in the holiday special. I was like, that must have just been an armor design they loved and didn't use that scene. So they went, we'll make this a character.
They digitally input a Boba Fett in there.
Yeah. So, and
it's
meaning that there
trickery that doesn't stick out like a sore thumb.
Meaning that there are 3 films in the original trilogy, of course, where Boba Fett does fuck all, except look cool.
Well, he's the only person in Empire who gets what they want.
Yeah. True.
So he wins Empire by default because everyone else loses.
He's no good to me dead. He wasn't dead. There you go. So he's no good to me dead. Han. Yeah.
He gets Han.
He joined them for dinner.
To Jabba.
He joined them for dinner.
He gets what he wants. He gets that bounty.
Do you think Boba Fett has a better time than Darth Vader putting the straw up his helmet at the dinner table? To round out this wick, this little journey, I've been away doing pantomime.
Yes.
Sort of like every Christmas that we've done this show, but the difference here being it was Panto Live, which if you're listening to this before the end of January, pantolive.com, you can watch it pay-per-view. If you want a panto at home, you've got kids that need entertaining, or you're an adult who does not feel remotely ashamed shouting at the TV when somebody says, "Oh, no, it isn't," then you can watch it, you buy a ticket, you stream it, you have access to watch it again and again. It's a lot of fun. It was a gay old time. It was very strange. It was like a marriage of my sort of my two most prominent jobs so far, like CBBC presentation and pantomime, kind of had a baby because it's all in a green screen studio. The backgrounds and the special effects are done by the Unreal Engine. It's an odd time, odd time. But it got me to thinking. Pantomimes are usually fairy tales or old stories, out of copyright, whatnot, books or folk tales and things like this. A lot of the more modern ones that you see tend to lean heavily into the lineup that's had a Disney adaptation.
Yeah.
Meaning that things like Mother Goose and Puss in Boots and even Dick Whittington sort of fall by the wayside more often than not. Dick Whittington seems to have a bit more longevity, but I think it's just because it's an easy one to write jokes for. And you know exactly what I mean without me even explaining it. So there we go. But yeah, like in the last sort of 10 years, Snow White and Beauty and the Beast have had a massive push in performances, despite not really being as common as, say, Aladdin, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, and all these others over the years. We did Cinderella. It were fun. The critic in me was like, I've done 3 of these now. I think I could write a better one than all of them. So I'm spending my first week of January writing a Cinderella to sell. She's got no choice. But it got me thinking, why do we have to wait a couple hundred years or more to adapt things into pantomimes? Why do we do that? Why not do it right hecking now with stories from the last few decades? Okay. So you come up with a couple, I believe. Yeah. I've sort of got one, and I want to bounce it off you, see if we can make it work. And I think I'm going to start if that's okay, because I want to. It feeds back into what we've just talked about. Go for it. Why isn't Star Wars a pantomime? Specifically the 1977 movie. Think about it. In Act 1, we have a young dreamer, Luke Skywalker, who's got big ideals and big ideas and aspirations and wants something more. Along the way, he meets the girl of his dreams in a comedic happenstance.
Who just happens to be his sister.
But we don't know that. We don't know that yet. So there's that. It ends with a big finale that's kind of rushed in a weird way, because all pantomimes, the last scene of every pantomime before the song sheet, shout outs, bows, is the most boring scene. Not for lack of trying, but it's because we all know how these stories end. So you just want to get to the end of the fucking scene. Mm-hmm. We know she's going to try on the slipper. We know he's going to beat Abanazar in a sword fight. We know the prince is going to kiss Snow White and she'll wake up. We know this is going to happen. That scene is such a weird slog of jokes delaying the inevitable. That's what it is. So, Star Wars kind of has that too. You just pantomime it by making the trench run a series of back and forth vaudevillian jokes between Luke and Darth Vader over comms. You just have 2 actors on wires flying around the stage. Yeah, come on. While Han Solo and Chewie are at the front going like, Luke, getting the crowd to cheer them on. Yeah. We have the princess, literally a princess. Yeah.
Princess.
The comedic relief, probably C-3PO, lean into the sassy rather than the assy. Like really lean into the sass and make C-3PO your comedic relief. Or, alternatively, R2's the comedy relief, who only speaks in whistles, Harpo Marx style. And 3PO's the dame. Which kind of feels right now that I've said it out loud.
No, 3PO is the dame.
3PO's the dame. Drop Han and Chewie, because I have no fucking clue what you're going to do with them. Unless Han and Chewie are the featured dancers, who just have one really big set piece at the end of Act 1.
Sure.
Because why not? Because you always have that one male dancer who is just like annoyingly drop dead gorgeous, who's like the one that everyone leaves the show and the mum's like, oh, I like that dancer. Oh my God, it was him. Oh, it was him. Well, there you go. That's Han Solo. You cast that dancer as Han Solo, and you dance the Dafter dancer. You dress them in a fucking carpet from head to feet, and they're Chewbacca. But most importantly, your fairy godmother is Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes.
Always lit blue, downstage right. And when they show up in the story, he has to have a wand instead of a lightsaber. Has to. Like tiny little wings coming out of the back. So, yeah, because then you could do the ghost gag in Act 2. Like, Luke could be making his way to the X-Wing and he thinks he hears a ghost. And, like, him and Chewie and Han, C-3PO, oh, and you do that, we'll have to sing it again then, won't we? Whilst Obi-Wan Kenobi, painted blue, is dancing around behind them. So the template is there. There is stuff there. And Vader's got to be your big celebrity booking. Like, Vader's got to be the big star that sells the show, but you're not allowed to take the mask off them once throughout the whole thing. It's called it's called the Pedro Pascal contract.
You do a dark helmet where it just keeps coming down.
We keep sliding it up.
Yeah.
Who else is an asshole here? Yo! I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes. So, yeah. Oh, wow. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids wasn't announced during the shareholder. Do you know what? Deviation. So, Star Wars. Why is it not a pantomime? Why is it not a pantomime now?
I'll tell you why it's not a pantomime.
Huh?
Because pantomimes are awful.
Hey! I resemble that remark.
Pantomimes are strangely obsessed with flipping genders.
Yeah. I mean, it's the Commedia dell'arte tradition / we don't want to show actual sexual contact, so Peter Pan and Wendy are going to be two women kissing, and half the audience just going, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, this is definitely not filthy at all. Okay. I'm talking about like 100 years ago, when everyone's just objectifying everybody. Nowadays, of course, nobody sexually objectifies anybody. At all.
At all, ever. So,
by the way, Visa and MasterCard, pay adult sex workers properly, you bastards. Sorry, carry on.
So I thought I'd go with the sort of flipping identity theme.
Okay.
Let's do a Freaky Friday panto.
Oh, shit! Yes! Okay. We have a couple things to draw on here. Yeah.
Mother is the dame.
Oh, shoot.
So the daughter is actually the mother who is the dame. So the dame is playing the mother, is playing the daughter in the mother's body.
Yeah.
And then the younger girl is playing the dame in a girl's body. So you just flip those ideas.
Yeah, so suddenly you have your young
panto.
female lead having to be Christopher Biggins.
Yeah, you do the entire panto, but the female lead acts like the dame and the dame acts like the female lead.
Oh, God. Do you know what? I bet you there'd be dames up and down the country going like, that sounds like a fucking challenge, yeah. I'll do it. I've been dying to get the lead romance song. I've been dying to get the romantic leads piece.
Well, no, because the lead female is still played by the celebrity young woman actress.
Yeah.
But acting like the dame.
Oh, yeah. Meaning the dame has to suddenly channel their inner, inner somebody from Corrie kind of energy and
and the whole jokey subplot about the dame trying to find a man that's in so many pantos becomes the central subplot of the mother character, because it's, and then the sort of young love subplot, main plot, becomes the main plot, but it's the dame trying to make the young love happen for her daughter whose body she's inhabiting.
Oh, God, wait, they're mother and daughter?
Yeah.
Oh, God. What if they end up getting with the guy, and the guy at the end, the prince at the end, is like, I mean, if you and your mum fancy...
Well, why not? Why not?
Freaky Friday, am I right?
So, it's basically taking those two plots and switching the characters, but keeping the bodies the same. So you're sort of inverting those roles, and you've got to have the dame has got to convince her daughter's love interest that he's in love with the daughter, and the daughter's got to convince the dame's love interest that he's in love with the dame. but while they're in the wrong bodies. And then the big finale's the prom.
Yes! Yeah! The 2020 Ryan Murphy adaptation of the musical from Netflix. Yeah. They just watch the prom at the end.
It's just the prom.
It's just the prom.
So that's your end big musical number is they do the switch back and then they have the prom. And then everyone's in love.
Oh. I mean, I'm not joking when I say there would be a dame out there going, I would love that challenge. Bring it on. And there'd probably be more than a few romantic leads going, yes, give me jokes. Let me do jokes and act like a dame.
Yeah.
I want this. There is nothing like a dame.
And you can sort of take the dame and fool combo and really flip the entire genre on its head.
Yeah.
If you do Friday the 13th, the pantomime.
Oh my God. My God, please tell me where this is going, because, like...
With Mrs. Voorhees and Jason as the dame.
Dame and her comedy son! Yes! Yes! Have you seen my boy? Oh, he's always swimming.
He's behind you.
He's wet behind the ears. In fact, he's wet everywhere. But
and it's just I think that could be the perfect pantomime for the horror lover, because instead of, like, cream pies and confetti and gunge or whatever, it's just gallons of fake blood.
You get the splatter zone like Evil Dead the musical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
and then
shit,
it'll be, he's behind you. Oh, no, he isn't. Oh, yes. Oh, no, he isn't. Dunk. Spurt. And then you can have a really attractive cast of dancers and disposable leads. Your lead female becomes the final girl.
Yeah.
The hero is killed off halfway through for trying to have sex with the final girl.
But the midpoint of Act 2 is where the script stops being played out on stage and whoever's playing Jason just actually starts bumping off everybody one by one.
Yeah.
And it gets recast once a week. The show's on once a week and it gets recast once a week.
Think of it as pantomime meets Too Many Cooks.
Yes.
That's the kind of tone I'm going for.
Yeah. Yes. And I'm just picturing the entire front row made up of the killer from Too Many Cooks.
Yes.
Just like staring and staring through half-lidded eyes with his beard and his greasy hair, just clapping away.
Yeah.
I want this.
And there's gonna be a dance/murder sequence to "Don't Stop Me Now" by Queen.
Yes. Yes.
But of course, Jason can't sing because he can't speak, but he can dance.
Is he still gonna? Jason can't sing, boys and girls. Oh, but he can dance.
He can dance. And Mrs. Voorhees can sing. Don't stop him now. He's having such a good time.
Oh, my son is having a ball. Don't stop him now.
If you want to have a good time, just give him a call.
Jesus Christ. Just light it. We're ready to go. Just light it. Since we're still in the festive season next week, folks, with our 53rd episode of the year, what the fuck calendar?
Yeah, it's a weird one this year.
What movies, genre film, horror, sci-fi, comedy, etc., what would you turn into a pantomime and how would it work? Don't just say, I think this, and leave it at that. We want bullet points. Let us know who your key characters would be, any classic set pieces, what shoehorned modern pop song will feature in it. Let us know.
Or not modern pop song, as the case may be.
Yeah.
Classic pop song.
Queen is forever. Jason Voorhees only dances for 60 dates, and then he goes to sleep for January. Let us know, bigdamcontact@gmail.com. You can also tweet us at bigdamcast on the Twitters. That's how tweeting works. You can support the show in any way. Helps keeps the lights on. / the show stored online. Patreon.com/bigdamcast. The Big Damn channel on YouTube is where you can find all of our shite. And also, Matthew streams most Mondays and Fridays, but it's fucking Christmas. Give him a break. On twitch.tv/the Big Damn Stream. Minus the. It's just Big Damn Stream. Until next time, I'm gonna go eat some food.
Yeah,
Think a little harder on Friday the 13th. Time Spectacular.
Oh, it'd be Bad Guy by Billie Eilish.
Yeah!
That'd be in there.
Yeah, guess what?
That'd be like Jason's feet.
Guess what? That was in ours. Bye, everybody! They always pick one that's in circulation. Bye, Merry Christ Mouse!